Coming up on CHGO Bears, got an interesting show for you. A lot of second opinions after combing through the tape on what really happened with Caleb Williams against the Ravens. I think you guys are going to like this. Matt Waldman joins us. It all starts right now on CHGO. CHGO Bears Podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365. When you sign up, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome in. It is a Tuesday in the NFL week as we go into week 9 already, guys. And Tuesdays are always a good day to kind of reset the conversation, put to rest everything that happened Sunday, flip it forward to next week. We usually like to take a closer look at what's going on with the quarterback after going through more of the film. What's going on? Adam Hoge, Mark Carman to my right, Greg Braggs to my left.
I know we got a huge guest coming up, but did anybody have on their dance floor that Ben Johnson would do his press conference yesterday and say that Caleb took a step forward? Did anybody feel that before Ben talked? Did Hoge rewatch the tape and figure it out? You know what? Everyone was wrong. He actually was better.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what the B block's for.
The answer to the question, if anybody missed, was no, and now we're learning more, which is why we have this big-time guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my answer is actually yes, but I'm going to save that for the next segment because we have Matt Waldman joining us. He's been on the show before, and he was making some waves on the old X Twitter machine yesterday with some of the –
He really helped me through yesterday.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Matt's on the show today because he's the guy on Twitter yesterday that made Greg feel better on his Monday that he was sad and depressed and was going to Taco Bell.
I was in a dark place.
So great job, Matt. Now you're on our show. Thank you very much for being here.
I like surfing on X, and I like big waves. So, no, I mean, it just is what it is. You look at the tape, and you see what you see of the player. And frankly, considering the starting point of where Caleb Williams was last year, and considering where he is right now, I completely understand why Ben Johnson would say he took a step forward. But I think we're too busy, or at least Bears fans are too busy, trying to compare him to Drake May, which is kind of like comparing grapes with kumquats in terms of how things started out. I mean, yeah, they had Alex Van Pelt, and now they've got Josh McDaniels back, but y'all had nothing. I mean, this guy didn't even have drop footwork tied with routes on a regular basis last year. He didn't have a veteran quarterback in the room. He had nobody working really with him in the facility at the level that they should have. It was a complete disaster. I mean, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan lifelong, and it was on par with some of their quarterback disasters of what they've not done. And to go from that to having like a very structured offense with still young players on it. It's not like you could look at players and say, oh, Luther Burden's better than the receivers that they have in New England. Or just by name value, you might look at certain things and say that we have better skill talent in Chicago than we do in New England. But the reality is you have less experienced skill talent overall. And you're trying to put all of that together. So from what I saw against a Ravens team that even though they had their backup quarterback, a backup quarterback with experience facing 4 defensive backs who are out or facing a team that has 4 defensive backs out for that game who you would normally see on the field, it's going to have an advantage. They're going to be playing catch up just to set the game script in the direction it is. And what Caleb Williams did, just keeping this game close, I heard a lot of commentary from Bears fans saying, Well, it's the big time throws we don't worry about. It's the consistency. It's the little things that he needs to do. And I'm sitting, I just showed 17 throws to on Twitter that were plays where how he managed the blitz well, throwing the ball away and managing the game in the way that you should, identifying blitz and going to your second read or going to your check down, or manipulating defenders, throwing the ball in stride to your receiver, something that Ben Johnson said a couple weeks ago. I know that people were up in arms about, saying that he's not giving the receivers a chance to catch the ball in stride and run. He was doing all that in this game. The drops, the reads, the on-time throws. He had one bad mistake, and it was a doozy of a mistake. He had one, and it was really more, for me, it wasn't like a Carson Wentz mistake where, his footwork is always going to be bad and it's hardware driven, and that you've got to manage around the fact that he's going to sail throws because when he drops back, his feet are too wide or wonky, and he can't move around in a tight space like a Justin Herbert can. It's more that he read something at the top of his drop. He didn't trust the fact that from my purview, that the defender over the top, he didn't trust that the defender over the top was not in, that the receiver had a good angle on that defender and he shouldn't throw because the defender could cut it off. And he waited about 3 beats too long and hung onto that play rather than checking down to the back in the flat. And it was a huge mistake. But every quarterback makes huge mistakes. Justin Herbert, as I just mentioned, he makes a dumb throw pretty much every week. Every week. Now, the Chargers, are they on a good, are they a team that tends to collapse from what we've seen over the years? Yes. But there's more to it than just one mistake a week. Brett Favre made multiple mistakes a week. It's how you overcome those mistakes. Do you play in a hole once you make that mistake, or do you continue to play aggressively? Do you continue to play intelligently? Can you make the high pressure throws? And after that throw that Williams made, you look at what he did, and he made some wow throws after that. He put them in position. Rome Odunze dropped a tough ball. Is it a ball he should catch? Absolutely. Did he make some wow throws that we saw at USC? Absolutely. Did DJ Moore not run the route the way he should have at the end line and blocked himself off and then can continue going forward? Absolutely. Was that on Caleb Williams? No. But those are the types of things that, sometimes it's hard for people to see and really understand, some of the nuances of what's going on here. But everything that's been criticized about him, to me, there was a lot that was answered in this game, and it's been going in that direction since week 1.
So, Matt, let me first of all, let me reset a little bit. And if people are seeing you on our show for the first time, make sure that everybody knows that Matt spends a lot of his time in the year working on the rookie scouting portfolio, which was I think the last time he was on with us was back in draft season. Pages and pages and pages and tons of words breaking down the quarterback. So he knows quarterback play. I want to ask you this because I think a lot of what you just went through is what I saw on the film too. What are you seeing in terms of him actually going through progressions? Because I think another thing that a lot of people have kind of thrown out there is just like he's not going through a lot of his progressions. And I will admit that I counted 6 throws in the first half that were either first read off play action or simple screens and stuff like that. But I do think there are other examples where he is actually getting through his progressions. But how much are you seeing of that on film?
Yeah, I've seen enough of that. And I think the problem is that people expect for some reason that, when they nitpick a quarterback, they start to nitpick things that they blow out of proportion because they don't understand how it really works in the scheme of things. You look at I watch a lot of different quarterbacks every week, and even the ones who have great reputations and are considered field generals who read the field well, most of what they're looking at is one reads. There's one read throws. A lot of things are schemed early on and schemed up in a way that it's designed just for one read. And if the read's open, you hit it. he had a lot of open first reads. So that's fine. But then you also have, how are you manipulating defenders when you have a, how do you manipulate defenders when you maybe have a choice to stick with one read, but you want to make sure that you've provided enough space? To me, that's more important than just whether you're reading through, because to counter that, Desmond Ridder used to go through 3 reads a fair bit in Atlanta. And the problem is he didn't know when to throw it. He didn't know what was open and what was not. Alex Smith, who had a long career, who Gil Brandt gushed about like it was the Beatles for him, in a pro day in shorts and the t-shirt, talked about Alex Smith being great. And Alex Smith was, the way he read the field, everything ended up in a check down. Theoretically, that's great that you can get to 3 or 4 reads. But if it ends in a check down all the time, it's not a good result. And so Caleb Williams, what I saw was an ability that when he needed to go to the second read, he found it. When he needed to find the third read in the flat, he found that. Sometimes reading is about being able to skip over the first read to the third read, or skipping over the second read to the third read, and not just so pedantic in an elementary school fashion where you're learning grammar and your diagram and everything, and you're looking here and here and here. And that makes it easy for us to view, but there's more nuance to it than that. So what you also want to see is things like the throw to the boundary to Roma Dunze, where they're playing too high with a cover 2, and he knows that he wants to throw that to a Dunze on the corner route, but he drops back holding the safety who's more towards the hash. And then instead of looking at a Dunze, knowing that he's going to draw the flat defender to peel off his receiver, he looks at the flat defender instead to hold that defender just enough so that he can then throw it back shoulder to a Dunze. The amount of processing that takes, and to do it in just a brief little manner in the way that he did, you could see how he shifted his body position just enough to then shift it back and then throw the ball and then throw it back shoulder. Those are great processing skills. The fact that he threw that ball to DJ Moore for over 40 yards while he's getting sandwiched by 2 defenders, and he's looking to one side of the field, but he knows that where Moore's working and where it's going to go. That wasn't a set play. That was someone understanding where his check down's going to be and understanding where to throw it so that he could fire it over that flat defender in stride for a huge gain, not just getting it there. So these are things that, from a read standpoint, you've got someone who's able to make the jumps and do the advanced things. They're just learning the scope of the timing with footwork and reads in this offense, which is very much more elaborate than what he had last year. You basically went from 0 to 60 with this guy, whereas a Drake May, if you're going to compare, you went from more like 40 to 60.
So there's a lot of good comments coming in the chat. I think one of them that I'll underline is from Eric Bochanton, who seems to always be on point. And his question is, Matt, does coming from Lincoln Riley's office put Caleb behind the learning curve because of how little is asked of the quarterback to do, going back to his college time? And I would just throw out there, too, just as an aside to that, his numbers on the scripted plays are great. He starts the game looking fantastic. And then as it goes along, it doesn't look as good. And so,
which last year was the opposite.
Yes, well,
yeah,
right.
They were terrible to start games.
So now Ben's setting him up for success, but when the game is actually happening after it's unfolding, he's not. There's a significant drop off. So I'm curious, how you combine sort of that question with what those numbers are.
Sure. Well, one of it is, again, he's learning a new system that now isn't just wing it, baby. Just like, oh, we don't care what your drop length is, just get back there and figure out when you should throw it, which is what Cameron Ward went through before they fired Brian Callahan. And you could see what a mess that was if you watch any Tennessee Titans football. Bless you for those of you that do. But, the thing is that with this offense, he's still learning it. Everyone's still learning it. They all said in spring, it's probably going to take more than a year to learn this Ben Johnson offense. So again, when people take Then I see comparisons to Jared Goff. Well, at this point in Jared Goff's career with Ben Johnson, this is when things started to accelerate. We're not seeing that with Caleb Williams, but Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl under Sean McVay before he ever stepped foot in Detroit. And speaking of Jared Goff, that's to answer the Lincoln Riley question. Jared Goff played in, an offense that is very much like a very heavily distilled West Coast offense, so distilled that it's like the Cliff's Notes version that only shows the plot. Okay, because it was a very simplistic offense at Cal, and then he went to, guess what, an offense that Todd Gurley described as a high school offense with Jeff Fisher in year one, and didn't play at all. And they said that he was woefully behind and he had a lot of work to do. And then he went to Sean McVay's West Coast offense, which you could describe the West Coast offense as the most advanced form of offense, and it'd be like learning Chinese. Okay. And imagine, you can, scripted plays are like rehearsing phrases like, where's the bathroom? And how do I, what's your name? And nice to meet you. Can I have some water? But then, off script plays are plays where the defense starts to have, you're starting to call things in different ways and the scripted part is over. Now you're at like some ice festival in the middle of a crowded population in China. And now you've had one too many beers and you need to use the bathroom. And you're asking someone who's now going to answer you. Now that person answers you is like the defense that you're facing now that's made adjustments. And they're going to answer you and give you a long list of convoluted directions that are like, take this street, go to the green house, and then take two more lefts after you see that house. And then there's a red door. Don't go in that one, though, because there's like a mobster who lives in that area and he's probably going to rob you. But go up the stairs past it. And he's saying it as fast as I am in Chinese. And you've only... you've just learned these phrases and you're just rehearsing these phrases. That's kind of what a quarterback's going through. And Jared Goff went through it. And you see where Jared Goff is now. But everyone was comparing him to Dak Prescott, who was in an offense that had a great offensive line. And it was coached well, had a good amount of skill talent. Whereas Jared Goff, you look at him, and while he had good skill talent, Sean McVay came in there and basically put puppet strings on him and then refused to take them off, towards the end, and wanted a different player because he was basically saddled with Goff, and we got an opportunity to say, I want a different quarterback, and he could make that play. He did. But Goff has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he can put up top 5 to top 7 numbers in the offense that he's in. So you look at a guy like Caleb Williams and how that works out is that right now it's an adjustment period for this offense. He's going to know the scripted plays, but the plays where they're going to call different things based on situation, that takes a little bit more time, just like any quarterback it does. And especially when you're, Lincoln Riley offense, where maybe, like you look at even a guy like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield couldn't climb a pocket to save his life while he was in Cleveland. And when he had to face man coverage with high edges and climb in a pocket, he failed. And it took him some time to figure that out. I mean, his wife even talks about when he got cut, he started to realize he had to take responsibility for some things that he wasn't doing. And you look at him in Tampa and he climbs pockets unbelievably well and that's the difference with his game and how he's playing at an MVP caliber rate. I think Caleb Williams is ahead of that. Yeah, but he's also in a Lincoln Riley offense. It was just a matter of, again, learning different terminology, learning different nuances, and it just takes, it's just going to take him a little bit more time now that things are structured on the level it was, especially because you're having to unlearn bad habits in the disaster that you had last year, which is probably what set him behind, not the offense. Bears fans need to acknowledge that last year was an absolute dumpster fire and that they better thank God that they got Ben Johnson in here because he's managing Ryan Poles upward to negotiate to be able to get the early draft picks he got, that he's managing media on what it's like to actually react to what happens when you have progress, but maybe you're not exactly where media wants it to be right now.
Well,
and he's managing players to play
I
hard.
think the fans definitely are thankful for Ben Johnson at this point. There really hasn't been any questioning.
We're building a statue for him, Matt.
And I want to thank. I don't know if you talked to everybody in our comments off the ledge, but we definitely appreciate your efforts and appreciate the insight. So thank you for jumping on the show again.
My pleasure.
All right, there he is, Matt Waldman, creator of the Rookie Scouting Portfolio, ins and outs of quarterback play. He definitely has it all down. We appreciate him coming in. I think we all have some strong thoughts on kind of what he said. We also want to play what Ben Johnson said, because that's very important, and what he said after he got to look at the tape. So all of that is coming up next, but first.
Hey, shout out to our friends at Bet365. Look, I mean, Matt Waldman, I bet he bets on Bet365. All our bets should be done. All our guests, living the dream. Bet365. Gregory, you should bet on Bet365.
I do.
What we do. By the way, we found out who came up with that parlay, that CHGO Bears parlay.
Oh, who came up?
Sean Anderson.
Sean Anderson?
He's the one who sent that in. So we have Sean to thank.
I do. My account zoomed because of Sean. And listen, I love betting on Bet365 because it's the best. And there's breaking news from Bet365. Right now, if you deposit $10 and you place a bet for $5, you get $200 in bonus bets right into your account. All you got to do is use the code CHGO365, and you are cooking. By the way, bonus bets can be used on literally everything: spreads, totals, player props, futures, or more, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. You'd have to be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, in-app only.
And we've got deals sweeter than candy this Halloween at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. I'm actually thinking about going as Ray Scarpelli for Halloween.
That'd be a good look. You'd have to have a great smile, and strong Bears knowledge, and a big time car.
Sounds like I'm good to go.
You don't have any of those.
Come in today to shop the No Tricks Just Treat sales event. Drive home with 0% financing, $0 down with no payments until 2026, and 0 hidden fees on select new Chevrolet models. Or you can check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Plus Ray's Price Promise. They always have it for you. You can shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Don't miss out on their No Tricks Just Treat sales event going on all month long for 0% financing, $0 down with no payments until 2026. 0 hidden fees on select new Chevy models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. That's right. What was 1963 like?
63 was great. I mean, the Bears won championship. Elder Bradovich was amazing. Going to Bears games at Wrigley Field was awesome. And, 60s were a tumultuous time, too. So
Good times for you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right. A lot to get to with everything that Matt just said. But I also want to get to what Ben Johnson said, because I think that this is kind of the jumping off point of the idea of what we're looking at today and on today's show, which is the idea of a second opinion. Because I'll be honest with you, this was kind of a weird game to evaluate, and I'm going to explain my process and where I am on all this. But first, let's hear what Ben Johnson had to say yesterday when he met with reporters over Zoom.
Ben, what did encourage you from Caleb's performance yesterday?
He was very efficient with the football there early in the game. I thought he had a number of throws that were on time. We hit a couple in breakers that was encouraging to see as well. We were explosive in the passing game. I want to say overall we had 11 explosives. 9 of those were in the passing game. So I thought he did a good job delivering that football. There's a couple that is, as we talked about, that need to be automatic here at this point halfway through the season that we missed on. And so we're going to keep on working through that process. And I think we're going to be in good shape. I did think he took a step forward here this week.
A step forward. And he also said on ESPN that he felt better, and I'm paraphrasing now, but he felt better after watching the tape than he did walking off the field on Sunday, which is similar to how I feel, Carm.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think that I agree with a lot of what Ben said there and what Matt said there. When you look at, especially when we talk about explosive plays. So was it perfect? No. But as Bears fans, we should know from past experiences of offenses that get 0 explosive plays, maybe 1, maybe 2, feel like they come, as often as a full moon. 9 explosive plays through the air in one game. It's hard to argue it's a bad performance when you get that.
Right, but what's the actual definition of an explosive play? Is it 11 yards or more?
It's 10 plus yards in the run game and 20 plus yards in the pass game.
So he's saying they had 9 passes of 20 yards or more.
That's what he's saying.
Okay, that's
and from the very start, 18 yards to Colston Loveland, 22 yards to Roma Dunze. A lot of it schemed up. I'm admitting all that, but to Matt Waldman's point, you still got to make the play. You got to be accurate, and that's the one thing that I was very encouraged by. His accuracy on Sunday in Baltimore was light years better than it was the past few weeks when I've been very critical of his accuracy. And let's not forget. So first play, boot left, on the run. What have we been talking about the last couple weeks?
Get him on the move.
How inaccurate he's been on the run.
Yeah.
Strike. Did it boot right a few plays later. Strike.
Look, I was confused that there was so much noise about Caleb after Sunday. And I know that, yesterday in the comments, Carman, it's not about yards, it's about touchdowns. And I get that. Like, you want to talk about an explosive play for me? I would define it as something where the Bears fans explode because the Bears scored, and there were 0 of those on Sunday. But you can't tell me that he was awful. That's ridiculous. And Matt Waldman's talking about the throw that he made to DJ, and the game was over at that point. But that was a ridiculous throw. He had a guy in his face, across his body, flipped it to DJ, phenomenal catch, and it didn't mean anything at the time. But if that was in the moment and it mattered, you'd be talking about that as an all-time throw. If that actually led to the Bears scoring and winning the game. But that's not what it was, so it's sort of just getting kicked to the side. But the other side of it is that, it's just weird to me. And last year, literally the head coach of the Bears got fired because he didn't call a timeout against Detroit. And Caleb was the quarterback. If he's lost out there, there's something to him in the moment where he can call timeout. Now, he was a rookie last year. And on this game, it was just very odd end of the half, end of the game. Just didn't particularly handle it well. And I would think over time, you would get good at those things because your talent is there. But clearly he's not there yet, and you're just going to have to be patient and let it play out. I've said all along that I don't think, barring an injury, he's going to play every single game this season no matter how it goes, and that's what should happen because he is that talented and he is the number 1 overall pick. And it is frustrating right now. I get it because you want to win every week, but I didn't look at Sunday as it was some horrible performance.
Well, I understand why Bears fans' heads are kind of spinning. Mine certainly was yesterday as well because I think as a fan, one thing I've always kind of gone back to, and I've said this on the show a few times, just covering Purdue basketball, and Matt Painter always talks about it's process over results. And for fans, we're more concerned about the results at the end of the day. And the results are they've lost 2 in a row. The results are that Caleb Williams hasn't thrown a touchdown pass.
Plus 1 in a row.
I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. 1 in a row, but
it counted for 2 for Greg though.
Yeah, it
in
did.
I don't mean to stop your momentum here, but it's like I just think it's a thing. Like they just lost 1 game after winning 4 in a row. Keep going.
Right. I guess where I was going was hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in two straight
games. Yep.
2 straight games, and so fans want to see results. We can talk. Matt Waldman, kind of talked about how he's impressed with the process and everything Ben Johnson's implementing. But at the end of the day, right now, the results aren't completely there, certainly in the red zone. And this is something the Bears have to pick up. But the reality is, and Marcus Mosher, we shared this, graphic last week of the most explosive plays. Now they're leading by a wide margin of 57 explosive plays through week 8. Number 1 in the NFL. And number 2 is the Los Angeles Rams at 50 and the Ravens also at 50. So they're moving the ball. And so that leads you to believe that there is, this chance that this can really kind of pop off like it did for Jared Goff under Ben Johnson in the second half of, after their first 8 games. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But it is interesting to kind of hear different evaluators, hear Ben Johnson say he's taking a step forward. And for us as fans, not seeing the results we want to see, sometimes you have to kind of peel behind that and understand the process is still in place.
You also have to realize, too, that Ben Johnson wants Caleb to – he's not going to go out there and kill the quarterback. So,
but I also don't think he's going to go out there and put lipstick on a pig if he doesn't believe it.
But
he hasn't to this. If he is doing that with Caleb on Monday yesterday, then that's the first time he's done that as the Bears head coach, because he hasn't done it.
I wouldn't go as I don't want to make lipstick on a pig. That's a little too far. But at some point, like I do think when he's talking about on one side that he made the wrong read, and Caleb's saying, I thought I made the right read, and then the next day he's talking about, well, he should have checked it down. Like, if you're going to do that, then there's got to be something to balance it out, too.
No, but isn't that what he did? He did balance it.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. Which, again, is the point. Everybody wants to be down here or up here. All we're saying was this. I think this was a very average football game played by an average football team across the board, including Caleb. No one's saying he was phenomenal. We're just saying you turn on the tape and it wasn't as bad as it felt like on Sunday. And I'm going to explain exactly why, because I can tell you part of my process here. My process is always, right, we watch the game live on Sunday. And then usually either Sunday night or Monday morning, I will rewatch the game. A lot of times it's just the condensed version to get through it, because it's not even about the quarterback. Condensed version of the game is not a great way to watch quarterback play, but it will jog your memory on certain things and certain downs and certain flows to the game and things that you might not have remembered in the moment, right? And then you get into the film. And what you can do now, even on, I've been fortunate to have this ability for a while now, but even with NFL Pro, if you want to pay for it, you can literally put in there, just give me Caleb Williams 41 dropbacks in this game against the Baltimore Ravens, and watch it that way. And it's going to give you the down and distance and what yard line's at, and you're going to be able to watch the play from the all-22 angle and the end zone angle. And it's going to be very helpful to you to understand how he actually played. But, and there's this important context too, that's not giving you all the context to the game either. That's kind of really making it black and white. Hey, this is quarterback play. So what I think ended up happening here this week, and this doesn't happen a lot, I do think part of the reason why Bears fans' heads are spinning a little bit is because when you just say, hey, give me all 41 dropbacks, and you watch that, you're going, oh, that was pretty good. It was, wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. But then when you watch the game on Sunday, and even if you watch the condensed version or rewatch it from start to finish, overall, there's more context in there as to, oh, well, I felt like he should have gotten the first down in the moment when he scrambled, or he could have dumped that ball off to Loveland. And then also I turned on the tape and saw that the corner route to Burden was probably there, and he didn't throw it. And what happened at the end of the half when he didn't slide, and at the end of the game when he threw 2 passes short of the end zone, when in that moment you have no timeouts, the ball has to be in the end zone or throw it out of the back of the end zone. So there's sort of the black and white, all 22, here's just the 41 dropbacks versus the whole flow of the game. And as usual, when we talk about quarterback play and football in general, the answer is usually somewhere in the middle. So I don't think anyone's trying to claim here that Caleb Williams played great or was perfect on Sunday against the Ravens. But I do not think it was as bad as it felt in the moment, and most people felt like watching it on Sunday.
Well, we're 24 games into Caleb's career, and, we've been through this with Mitch and Justin where they say the old adage is once you've hit 30 games, they are who they are. Mm-hmm. Well, we're 6 games away from there. And so Bears fans are starting to get nervous now. I understand it might be silly, but regardless, this is where it goes for, quarterback narratives. And so now every game becomes an indictment on his career. Not only that, but every game becomes, is he the guy? Is this all going to work out, or is he a bust?
Well, is he? Is he?
And that's what I mean. The answer is not that. There is no answer to that question. And for fans, they just want that answer right now, and every game is going to have to be, a narrative towards whatever you're trying to say in that regard. So, we don't have that answer. I agree with you. It wasn't, an outstanding game, but I think for a lot of fans after that game was over, it was like, well, the Bears missed again. He's a bust. And I think that's what Matt Waldman's trying to convey. No, that's not where it is. And what you're saying here, Hoge, too. So it's a frustrating thing because we just want our answer. We're just not going to have it right now.
There's two things that go on too, and we can talk about this further, I guess, unless we're moving on to something dynamic next that I'm missing here. Hoge, would you like me to finish this amazing thought that I have in this particular moment?
I think it's a free country. I think yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I see Steven holding up, and okay. So look, it gets tricky in the NFL because, well, first of all, to me, the Bears quarterback thing is sort of like what it was like for the Cubs before they won the World Series. There's just more spotlight on it because we haven't had it, and every game's going to be evaluated, and there's just going to be a lot of noise around you, and you have to be able to handle that. And I think to this point, Caleb's done a pretty damn good job of that. I mean, I have not seen that guy lose his confidence at all. He's in my mind, at least listening to him talk, he very much believes in himself and what he's seeing and what he's doing. And he keeps on talking about it's just going to get better over time, and I just need more experience. That's basically been his narrative, and I appreciate that. The other side of it, too, is, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but we are in the middle of year 2, and then you get into year 3. And at some point here, the Bears are going to have to make a decision. Are we going to pay this dude a whole bunch of money? Because that's what's going to be in front of them. And they can, that right now, it's still out in the distance, but it will get here quicker than it feels right now, and that's going to be an absolutely enormous decision. And right now, you don't want to make that decision at all because you haven't seen enough. And that's, I think, if you were to ask Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, or anybody, they would be like, I need to see a little bit more before we give him a big-time dough to be the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears going out into the future. Right.
You don't want the rest of this season to feel like you still don't have that answer. You don't. I mean, what you're hoping for is the jump, the Jared Goff second half of the season jump. Because if they get to the end of the year and they're still like, we're not sure what we have, then you have to go through the offseason and training camp, and we kind of recycle back through the process of, on paper, how everything looks like it's going to work out, and then you don't know what year 3 looks like. So you want that answer here in the second half of this season.
I mean, and Ben talked about, this is going to look a whole lot better in the second half of the year than it's going to look at the first half of the year. I will be personally surprised if we see some Jared Goff level jump the rest of the way. I think it's going to look exactly how it's looked. It's slightly better, but I don't think we're going to the curve is not going to go like this. I'd be surprised. I hope it does, obviously.
I'm not leaving it off the table, though, because when you look
I wouldn't put it off the table either. I'm just saying my prediction would be no. I think it's not going to look like that.
The injuries aren't helping, but the majority of the injuries are on defense. So
burden will matter, but it's
burden certainly,
and hopefully Cole will get healthy too.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you look at the explosive plays and how they're right up at the top, there's enough metrics there that could lead you to believe that there could be a jump here. Really, ultimately, it just comes down to red zone success rate. And it is surprising that they did so much better in the red zone last year versus this year when they have such an elite play caller and a better offensive line. So I am confused why everything's working between the 20s and then it's not when they get inside the 10.
I'm getting a headache looking at the chat. I'm sorry. I mean, first of all, to the guy that keeps talking about how 25 out of 38 isn't good, 25 out of 38 is 65.7%, which is not a horrible completion percentage. Not to mention that I have no notes in front of me right now, and off the top of my head, I can think of one throwaway that he definitely had, the intentional grounding that wasn't his fault, and the Rome catch on the sideline, which I think was as good as he possibly could have thrown that ball on the run and could have got some help. And I think there's a couple other ones you could throw in there too. So now 25 out of 35 is 60. 25 out of 35, no, is 71.4%, which would be qualified as really, really good.
Right.
So what are we doing here? And then second, I think Kurt brought up, this is what we were doing with Justin Fields. No, it's not. It's not even close. With Justin Fields, we were talking about how he'd be looking at guys wide open and not throwing the ball. Caleb, watch the tape. He's throwing with anticipation. The errant throw he had over the middle, which was a little too high, was honestly because he threw with too much anticipation.
Well, and the out that he hit Rome on for whatever 20-plus yards, he threw it right when Rome was going into his break. It was an excellent throw.
If your point is we're in the same spot in year 2 where we're trying to figure out how good a guy's going to become, yes, that is similar. But the reasons and they could not be more different in terms of quarterback prospects and what they've done well and what they haven't done well. It's not even close to apples at all.
But so that the difference also between Caleb and Justin to me, and this maybe is a little bit unfair, but with Justin, you knew that dude was going to be a physical freak who was going to work his ass off every single week and just be dived in on it. With where we're at with Caleb right now, I still wonder, like, how is it that they have this many false start penalties and just sort of an understanding of it all?
But that's another thing. Look at Colston Loveland's false start. Watch it on the tape.
That's one, Coke. That's one.
It's not just one because it's been every game. Everybody's putting these all on Caleb.
I'm not putting them all on him.
The Ravens shifted from an under front to an over front, and the tight end moved. That's not on the quarterback.
I get it.
That's on a rookie tight end who freaks out because the guy moved in front of him.
I get it. I'm not saying they're all on him, but they are certainly partly on him. They've had some really awkward moments with Drew Dahlman, who's walking around with a football out of his butt. Like, I mean, just some bizarre stuff has happened here that doesn't tend to happen anywhere else. And I'm like, what's going on? How is this possible?
But that was a week ago. Ben Johnson's point is he improved this week, and I'm agreeing with it.
Okay, it's only a week ago though. It wasn't last year. It wasn't his second game. The dude, look, man, playing quarterback in the NFL, as you well know, is super damn ass hard. And is he going to be the guy that nothing else in your life matters other than playing quarterback every single week and diving into the tape and doing X's and Hogs and everything else to be the best?
Need some X's
and until this offense is running smooth, I will have that question. When they go week in and week out and there's a smooth operation, I'll be like, this dude is on it exactly how they're saying that he's on it, living this job, and nothing else is going on, period. We have not seen that yet.
I like funny comment from T3P, our guy. Says,
What
you
did he
definitely
say?
did not defend Justin like this for sure.
Hey, listen, I made a campaign for Justin to sign a long-term deal there because they could win with him, not win because of him. And it is, and T3, and nobody liked that argument. I thought it was a solid argument. Trade all the picks, get him here on a cheap deal. And it's like, he'd never sign for that. Meanwhile, he's playing for that amount of money in sad-ass New York.
We had a Stand for Justin campaign.
That's right. Don't boo his ass. And people are like, Kim.
By the way, I think there's one more QB slide shirt on our website available. It's a medium, and it's $5 if anybody wants to buy it.
T3P.
It's still there for you.
Get the last QB slide.
And there might be more than one, but I just see one. There's medium's the only size available, so I'm assuming there's one left, and it's $5. Go get it. It'll be a relic. All right.
I sleep in my Caleb t-shirt. It's very comfortable. It's a great way to go to bed.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
No problem.
We'll be right back. I am going to give you a sequence that I think explains exactly the point of why there needs to be more context and something we should probably be talking more about, the run game. That's next, but first.
Hey, got some bad news, ladies and gentlemen. Winter will be here before you know it, and the question is your home heating up for the challenge?
Yes.
If you have a plumbing emergency, call Four Seasons. If you have an electrical emergency, you call Four Seasons. Need a new hot water tank installed today, you call Four Seasons. Now's the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. At Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. You can save up to $4,000 on furnaces and comfort systems. Your furnaces start at $39 a month, and furnace AC combos from $57 a month. So Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric, serving Chicagoland for over 50 years, is your trusted local experts. And so you want to visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
Thank you, Gregory, and thank you to our friends at CHSN, the Chicago Sports Network, the official TV and streaming home of the Blackhawks, 3-0 Bulls, and White Sox, broadcasting over 300 live games per year. CHSN has their all-access plan, which is $29.99 a month. Gives you all the games. They also have the individual team plans for $19.99 a month. Give you access to the team that you select. You can
watch the Bulls last night.
They looked good. It was
3-0.
Benny's 2 for 2 on the home games with his. He's off to a strong start with the overhead shot. Guys,
Keep it going, Benny.
By the way, sign up to watch CHSN at chsn.com, or you can watch via the CHSN app, which can be downloaded on Apple and Android devices, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Samsung TV. You can also watch CHSN on Xfinity, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. Visit chsn.com for more details.
By the way, I missed the memo today on the Bulls garb. I mean, what?
Were you not watching last night? You were watching last night.
James and I watched the entire
3-0.
second half. We were really into the game. James was standing on top of the couch at one point.
That's a good effort by James. That's why I appreciate James Hoge. It's the energy that we need in this world. Way to go, James.
Just to add one more thing here as we move on from the cable.
As you completely ignored everything we talked about in the break.
I didn't ignore it. I'm just adding a little aside, as Carm likes to say. Danny Parkins, good friend.
The old Parco
tweets. And I think this is something that has been overlooked or not really looked at enough. Last year, Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times in 17 games, took 4 sacks per game, and was sacked on 10.8% of his dropbacks. This year, Caleb has been sacked just 12 times in 7 games on 5.1% of his dropbacks. Tangible, meaningful improvement. I mean, that was the biggest thing last year that people criticized Caleb Williams for. 68 sacks was the second most for any rookie quarterback ever. And for him to only have 12 to this point, that's more than night and day.
I absolutely agree with the point. I'm laughing because Parco has done an amazing job jumping through every single hoop he can to defend every quarterback because he was all in on Justin Fields was going to be God, and he found every.
And you know what? Who effing cares, man? These are Bears fans. They should.
No, what do you mean? What does that mean?
You drafted a first-round quarterback. That quarterback should be good. You should you should be hopeful that the guy your team drafted is good until you finally reach the realization, as I did with Trubisky and I did with Justin Fields, and hopefully someday won't have to do with Caleb Williams, that it didn't work out. Right. I don't blame these people for this.
I'm not blaming any people. I'm talking about one specific guy who is on the radio, who's a friend of mine.
He had a QB1 party.
Who was going to point out anything possible so he could possibly be right about his take until he was wrong, and then he pivoted.
Is he talking about Danny Parkins or Mark Carman? I'm confused right now.
I'm not talking about myself because I was right and he was wrong. So.
All right, I would like to go in a time machine back 2 minutes to where we said we were going to come out of the break and promote the awesome event we have tonight, Hoge & John's live recording. There's still time to come out. You really don't have to do anything. It's completely free. Just come on over, 6 p.m., Chicago Brew House on the Riverwalk. It's going to be a great time. And new merch drop today, too, boys.
Let's go.
Look at this. All the different colors. There's a new hat in there and hoodies for a hoodie season. So all of that is available now on the CHGO merch store.
The CHGO flag on the left with the Bears in the middle is very Grateful Dead-ish. It's got some Grateful Dead vibes to it,
nice.
Which I like.
Well, when I think of Grateful Dead, I think Adam Johns.
I mean,
there you go, Hoge & John's.
That hoodie is very strong. Yeah, I'll be buying it after the show. Just to support the Hoge & John's extravaganza, damn it.
I do, well, yeah, because you're not coming.
Can't come tonight.
Steven's coming. You learn who your real friends are.
I believe he's working.
He is, because we badly need him to be there and help us. So thank you, Steven. All right, since you brought the sacks, it's actually a good segue, Greg, to a sequence I wanted to bring up. The end of the first drive. And it was frustrating because I think there was multiple times right there to score a touchdown, one of them being on Caleb. So Caleb rolled out. It was that 2-yard scramble he had where I was frustrated in the moment that he didn't reach out and get the first down. So that was the first thing. But when you go back and watch it, I don't know why he didn't throw the corner to Luther Burden. It was what I call NFL open. It wasn't wide open, but it was open, and on the run, I thought he had a window to get it there. And then beyond that, I think a better pump fake would have, at minimum, bought him the time with, I think it was Kyle Hamilton who ended up coming in off of Colston Loveland. You basically had a 2-on-1 right there where Kyle Hamilton's covering Colston Loveland. So you got to make that defender be wrong. you pump fake and hold him, then you tuck it and get the first down. Or you tuck it like you're going to run, draw him towards you, flip it over, touchdown to Colson Loveland. So I thought there was 3 possibilities that could have been right there for Caleb, and unfortunately he picked the one that ended up being wrong to not get he didn't get the touchdowns and he didn't get the first down. Fortunately, he made a great play on third down to extend the drive. Rome Odunze made a great play on that play as well to get through traffic because it was a mesh concept and he got jammed and he got out of there. Caleb extended it, and then Rome did a great job because he wasn't open to get upfield briefly to get separation and pop out. And once again, watch the film. Caleb's accuracy on the run was way, 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 way better on Sunday. Now, that is all to me set up what happened next.
Hold on one second. I just want to throw in one little tidbit on that. Rome Odunze on that play, that was an elite receiver. That was wide receiver. When he got cracked, he could have stopped.
Yeah.
It was violently hit, and then he was
Roquan,
aware
right,
of where
that
Caleb
hit him.
was going. He was aware that he needed to get open. He was crafty in how he did it, and it was a good throw on the run. It was also a pretty easy throw. He's right in front of him, 5 yards. Boom.
Yeah, but it's what he wasn't doing the last couple of weeks.
Fair enough.
That was frustrating.
Okay.
So, and he was frustrated by it too. Now, this is where we have not spent enough time talking about the run game struggles because there were a number of different things I thought the Ravens did well to prevent the Bears linemen from doing what they had done well the last couple of weeks, which is those combination blocks getting a second level. So the Ravens deserve credit for that. However, on first down, after Caleb did extend that drive to Rome on third down, they hand the ball off to DeAndre Swift, wide zone, and he doesn't follow the wide zone path. And I want to shout out JT O'Sullivan for this because I didn't see – this is where JT I always appreciate, especially his as much as it's quarterback school. The stuff he contributes and explains in the run game is phenomenal. And
I was talking to JT about it, and we totally agreed. It was interesting. We had a good convo on it.
Okay. Did you just make that up?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Completely.
It sounded like you were being serious.
Oh, good. I'm glad. It's like.
Wait, are you telling me he agreed with me agreeing with him? Because that's what I'm doing. He's the one who said it.
I'm saying that me and JT were watching the tape together, and I pointed that out to JT, and then he put it on tape, and then now you're agreeing. But keep going.
That's what he was trying to do until you started talking.
Right.
That was just a bizarre whatever. Anyway. Thanks for ruining that short. All right.
It's all about shorts on this show. That's all we do. We all stand there and just talk to the camera. I know. Let's go to this guy's short. Then you do a short. Then I'll do a short.
Your short is what you want.
We all do
Your
a show.
short.
We'll just do some shorts. Let's do some shorts. I got a short. Put the camera on me. I got my short. Don't interrupt anybody on the show.
Put the camera on Carman.
Put Matt Waldman back on. Let him talk for 25 minutes. Let's go.
Come on, do a short.
I don't. Yeah, that is the short. That's my short. I apologize for ruining your short.
Did you just do a short on shorts? All right. Anyway, DeAndre Swift on first down, wide zone run, doesn't follow the path that was open that probably would have been a touchdown. If at minimum, he's right down there near the goal line. He cuts back to the left for some reason. Now, I thought it was very interesting. We don't know, was Swift on a pitch count in this game? It certainly seemed like it because he was on the injury report. Monongai got the first carry of the game. Well, right after that play where he probably, I think in my opinion and JT O'Sullivan's opinion, gets in for a touchdown, Monongai immediately came in there. Now the following play was the one that Ben Johnson admitted yesterday was just a bad call. They didn't have the right front they were going up against, and the shade tackle ends up being completely unblocked. Monongai gets stopped in the backfield for a loss. So now we go to third down. And this is why it's important, because what happens next is the Ravens bring everybody to the line of scrimmage like they're going to, go zero blitz on you, and instead they back off. Well, the running back in that situation, of course, has to be alert. I might have to pass protect here against one of these blitzers. But once they all back off, and it's really just a normal four-man rush, you need to get out and run your route. And Monongai, again, rookie, would DeAndre Swift have been in there? I don't know the answer to that. But would DeAndre Swift still have been in there had he run? Well, no, because he actually would have been in the end zone. He would have had a touchdown, now that I think about it. But regardless, you understand where I'm going with this. Where one play kind of snowballed into third down, Monongai's out there. He's late to react to realize that the blitz is not coming. Caleb feels the pressure because Theo Benedict's getting beat on the left side by Theo Benedict. Or Theo Benedict's getting beat by Mike Green on the left side. Caleb feels that. He peeks over to his check down where Kyle Monangai should be, which would have been a wide open touchdown, but Monangai hadn't gotten out of the backfield yet. So now he's got to scramble, look out to his right. It's too late. He gets tripped up, and that's a sack. So even the one sack he took, clearly not his fault in this game. And it's a situation where a little bit more experience. That's what Matt Waldman was talking about earlier in the game, by the way, too. Some of these guys he's working with out there are not yet fully experienced. Colson Loveland jumps offside or, has the false start because the front moves on him. Kyle Monangai, too slow getting out of the backfield on the check down. He would have had a walk-in touchdown there. So I know it's a lot of talking here, but that sequence, Braggs, when you're talking about some of these red zone struggles, I'm trying to just explain some of that's going on here. One of them was a missed opportunity by Caleb, I thought, and then the other sequence was really on the running back and then the other running back.
Well, I think, if you're just trying to be the devil's advocate of somebody that's trying to hold Caleb Williams to a number 1 overall pick standard, which is something Briggs talks about a lot and see a lot of people in this chat. Yes, I understand. I think we all understand, like, at this point, it's probably they're better off having a run-first identity, especially over the last couple of weeks coming out of the bye, how successful they were. But what fans want is that this quarterback is their identity. And when they get in that moment, that they're not afraid to throw the kitchen sink at Caleb Williams because he's going to be able to make any play that Ben asks him. And I think maybe the fair question is, okay, these are the plays they ran, and this is why these plays didn't work. But when do we get to the point where Ben has the whole playbook at his disposal for the number 1 overall pick quarterback that's going to go in there and make the play no matter what? We all want Caleb Williams to be a top 5 quarterback in this league. The reality is he's not right now, and it's a long way to go to ever get to that point. But for Bears fans, okay, that's great. We can have all the explosive plays. We can make these plays. We can talk about how these guys still have a learning curve. But at some point, Bears fans want Caleb Williams to live up to the standard of being that number 1 overall pick. And I don't think that's an unfair expectation to have.
Well, the sequence that you're outlining, I think, is an excellent job by you, Hoge, because it was first of all, the second down play to Monangai, he wasn't going downhill at all. It was just an awkward call. He was not put in a position to succeed.
Well, the nose tackle was just unblocked.
So
they didn't have the front right.
Right. And the first play, your explanation of what happened with DeAndre there. But bottom line, it was, and then when he got sacked, I mean, Mike Green beat Theo. He had no chance, and he had a great finish to that play too. So that would be unfair to put that on Caleb.
But he did have a chance if the running back gets out.
Right.
It's a touchdown.
Right. I guess.
And you can see on film that he looked for it. It's not like he didn't look. He
Right.
glances over. There's nobody there, and he has to go to his right, and then he gets sacked.
Right. Well, it also happens. I mean, that's the incredible difficulty of playing that position. It happens very, very fast. Mm-hmm. And Mike Green was, I mean, Theo got beat bad on that play, which also I going back on, I was like, how many times did he get sacked? I had to go back and look at the stats. That was the one sack all day, which
right.
you could throw that under the umbrella of progress. So
also, can we address one other elephant in the room?
Carm.
Right here. How you doing?
Can he get more help from his receivers?
Ooh, not Carman.
I'm with you on this.
This looks like a short, so shut up, Carm.
No, it's just look. The Bears have good receivers, but I feel like every game there's been 2 or 3 like we can't expect this guy to put it on the numbers every single time. Not every pass is going to be thrown perfectly. Make a tough catch. Like DJ Moore had one that was not easy. It was kind of like up here, and the ball should have been closer to the sideline, but it hit you in the hands. Roma Dunze had the one on the sideline, which he had to go down to get it, but if we're going to hold Caleb Williams to number 1 overall status, you're a top 10 pick. Like, that's got to be caught. Colson Loveland at the goal line at the end of the game. That was a fastball, but it hits you in the hands. You're a top 10 pick. Like, he needs more help. Yep. I think that's a completely fair thing to bring up at this point in the season. Every single game has had 2 or 3 of those plays.
And cut. That's a short. But no, I agree with you. I mean,
leave that part in.
You watch Terry McLaurin.
I thought he did a good job. I bit my coffee mug the whole time. I thought the Steve would cut to me, but I sat there like this. We wouldn't do it. We weren't going to do it.
Get you a muzzle. Yeah, I mean, we got.
Who?
Oh no.
Go ahead.
As we go to overtime, become a diehard.
Are we really at the top of the hour?
Become a diehard or whatnot.
Hey,
as Carm said yesterday.
Hey, that sold great yesterday from my sources tell me.
I actually thought it was great, because we got to switch it up sometimes.
So many people signed up right when he said it. Like,
Become a diehard or whatnot.
It's like all I needed to be
But
pushed over
I
the
do
edge
agree.
was whatnot.
I do agree with you. I mean, you watched Terry McLaurin last night in the Washington game. He made a couple amazing catches, and the one on the sideline was unbelievable diving, and then he had the one in the end zone as well. And I do ask myself, like, how many times have we actually seen that this year with Bears receivers? We really haven't. They've had a bunch of explosive plays, but they're all wide open, and that's a big credit to Ben Johnson and how he schemes guys.
DJ did make a nice catch on that. The one-hander
was phenomenal.
Was good. But my point is, it needs to be more than just that.
I will not push back on any of the receivers needing to be better, but like people are like Rome Odunze is playing like a number one wide receiver.
Told you.
Thank you. You did.
It's crazy to think
he's not going to catch every ball. I get it that every time he drops one, Bears Nation goes crazy. Rome's got to catch. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's not going to be perfect. And the ball that you're talking about where Caleb made a great throw on the move, it's a tough catch, man. He's got NFL player, you got to make that, but you're not going to make that catch every time. It's low.
I'm not saying he's got to make it every time. I'm saying like half of the ones he hasn't made, I want to see half of them caught.
And okay.
Yeah, these are 50-50 balls, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if I've seen Rome catch a 50-50 ball this season. He's caught the ones he should catch. I don't know if it's a true 50-50 ball if I've seen him come down with one. And I want those to be at least 50%. This is supposed to be his best skill set. That's what we were told when he was coming out of college. They didn't try it last year.
What about
this year? He's getting those opportunities.
What about the touchdown in the end zone that they took away, where it's fade back to the other side? Do you get?
Well, that was a great. No, that was
just a great adjustment.
It was a great adjustment. It was a great play.
It was a good throw too.
Yeah, it was a good throw, good catch.
I did see it. I was trying to find it, but I can't find it out quickly. But the wide receivers last year that led the league in drops were some of the best wide receivers in football. So it's pretty simple math. If you get more targets. Yeah. You're going to have more drops.
If you're talking about Bears problems, Rome Odunze is not in the...
CeeDee Lamb was, I believe, the number one wide receiver with drops last year. Well, that's because he gets targeted a lot. And so, I'm
not saying anything that Rome wouldn't say himself.
Yeah, he of course.
He wants to catch all these.
I think that, there's a middle ground for sure. He's not expected to make every catch, but at some point, you got to help your quarterback out. When he makes a big play, when he's moving to the sidelines, Caleb, and he makes that throw and puts it on a dot to Rome Odunze as he's diving. The big time wide receivers, they make that play.
Right, but of things on this team, Rome Odunze would be one of the things I think that you're most confident, right?
Yes,
sure.
Okay,
he's probably our MVP on the offense so far this season.
I wrote that on Sunday in the amazing Carm Grace. Check it out, ALLCITY.com, and I took it away because I thought it was a little bit too tall, but I had that thought. Like, if you were going to pick a Bears MVP right now, who would you go with?
Joe Thuney.
And
on offense?
Well, just on the whole team. If you're going to then that might be the right answer.
That was the other one that came to my mind because with offensive linemen, it's the opposite of defensive linemen. If you're not hearing their name, they're probably doing really good.
Actually, for the first time, I thought Joe Thuney kind of didn't have his best game on Sunday. That was the first time I've noticed.
I was going to pick Dio Dangbo.
Dio, all right.
I have to admit, like, there's certain moments where the Carmonica, like, adds something to the show.
Don't encourage him.
The Carmonica is one of the greatest things that the show has ever naturally, organically come up with.
Do you have? I gave you a homework assignment.
You did?
To end the show.
What was that?
The Bears made a huge move today.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to,
I have it. I have it.
I want
it is
information on him.
Guys, I thought I've had a great show. I'm going to leave now.
You have been amazing.
We were going to do a breaking news pod on it this morning, but I figured it was just more apropos for you to, give us all this information in D-Block.
Normandy Plummer and Willie Beeman, good ones with Byard and Swift. I like those as candidates for Bears MVP. But perhaps this guy that you're talking about will become the Bears MVP. We have not talked about it today, but the Bears have signed defensive end Jonathan Garvin. Garvin is 26. You might not have heard of him. Green Bay Packer fans have. He's a former 7th-round pick back in 2020. So think Travis Bell, who was drafted ahead of Tyson Bagent. Shout out Tyson Bagent, my guy. He's in the final year. He was entering the final year of a $3.4 million rookie contract with the Packers, and they cut him, which we got Jonathan Ford when they cut him up there. So it's from Garvin to Ford back to Garvin. Remember Garmin's? Remember the Garmin? The
Don't get off track. Keep giving us info.
The GPS
The
thing?
navigation device is outstanding.
It's still a thing.
Garvin is going to navigate his way to the quarterback with the Bears. You watch. He was a Birmingham Stallion, 2024 Gregory in the XFL. Shout out the XFL. Is that league still going?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but he was there. He was with the 49ers back in August. Was a great Niner. We could get Kyle Shanahan on the phone, figure out what he has to say about him.
When was he born?
Garvin, 14 games, by the way, with the Packers in 2022. He had 8 tackles and 2 pass defenses, which until Dio broke out last week with 8 tackles, that's big time performance. You want to know when he was born?
Yeah.
Jonathan Garvin.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we could reverse these two people on the screen, that's me right now.
Yeah, it is. This would be Carm on the whiteboard with all this information about Garvin.
Carm's whiteboard.
July 28th.
Carm's useless whiteboard.
July 28th, 1999 was a great year. Carm was doing great work was at WLBK AM DeKalb. Crashed the company car on week 1. That was a bit of a problem.
You have a lot of crashes.
Yeah, not too many crashes. But
Attention span.
And one thing to know about the Garm City Garm dog,
It's Garvin.
is that
do you have something?
I think he's just finding something.
I mean, one thing that I would say to know about him is, unlike Carm's reporting here, he was signed to the practice squad, not to the team.
That's important.
little bit
Which is
different.
important context. Yes, Austin Booker is being activated off of injured reserve.
But I mean,
as you cause panic to the people wondering what's going on.
Don't worry about Austin Booker. He's
Carm's sweet Bibby wants to know where his parents first met.
So former Miami Hurricane star Jonathan Garvin had to be very patient, but one-time star at Lake Worth High School was finally drafted by the Packers 242nd overall. Let's all sit around the fire and listen. The 6'4", 263-pound defensive end was a 2-year starter for the Canes, compiling 10.5 sacks and 26 tackles for loss over those 2 seasons. He was not at all upset. He was drafted in the 7th round. Great attitude by Garvin. He didn't care that he had to battle through bricklaying to get to be a podcaster one day. He did it just like you.
Did it.
Why did you do this, Greg?
You are Garvin.
Quote. We might find some genius in this.
Quote Garvin.
We're not there yet.
Garvin. I mean, that doesn't matter. I'm a Green Bay Packer now. For me, I was happy throughout the whole draft. You're about to go to the NFL. You're happy wherever you're going to be, and I'm happy to be a Green Bay Packer. Positive attitude. Positive attitude, Hope.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter even if Carm interrupts you in one of your all-time great shorts, it completely ruins it. You know that you're going to do the next one. And that's what Garvin brings to the table, and that's why I love Garmin. Garmin, the Garv City Garv dog.
Get his name right.
Is here. Jonathan Garvin, congratulations.
Is this Carm GPT? Says Mace Dog.
Carm GPT, if I may, as we wrap up the show
You may
here.
not.
I may. Do you see that Eddie Jackson, my guy, is being worked out by the Steelers today?
Yep.
Okay. I did not see that.
Eddie Jackson's just out there. Why can't we bring Eddie Jackson back to the fold? Just give a little help to that safety room.
He's been around doing
Can he play
podcasting
corner?
around the city.
Probably better than who we got out there right now. Let's bring Eddie back in. Eddie was a beast for a minute or two, maybe even 5 minutes. I miss Eddie Jackson. That guy was positive in the locker room.
That's a good nugget. Now that was a good nugget worth waiting for.
There you
Something I didn't actually know.
Yeah.
Good for Eddie Jackson.
Yeah,
We finally got there. We just had to sit through the
You got
book of
anything
Garvin.
else for us?
Yeah, a couple other things. Because I see somehow my tennis game is coming up with Torian. Tonight is Kirschenbaum. It is a battle for the basement in the 4-5B League. And it's all on the line tonight at 9 o'clock. So my mood will be dramatically impacted tomorrow, whether I get the Kirschenbaum or whether I don't.
Can I?
Last time we saw Kirschenbaum, I blew out my Achilles.
Oh, it's risky. So you're missing the Hogan Johns show for.
No, I'm
Kirschenbaum.
taking. We got basketball practice tonight. I got young
big.
Beckett's going to be
Okay.
rocking it at 6:30. What's up, Play Hard Hoops? David Edelman doing a great job.
Yeah, I love. That's a great program. People want to check it out. David does a great job. Play Hard Hoops. Can we back up though? There's a moment earlier in the show. We took a break. We came back from the break, and somehow someone in the comments very creepily knew that Carm ran to the bathroom.
I thought that was weird too. How the hell
How
did he know that?
I think it was Dr. Truth.
It
No.
was. And then this other guy wants me to put me in the bathroom. Colby. What up, Richard?
Can you search for Dr. Truth? I think it might have been
Dr. Truth had it. Or somebody had it.
I don't.
Maybe it wasn't
not.
Dr. Truth. I'd be
So-
taking a nap.
There it is. Was Carm off to pee during the ad reads? Managing his time well. Well done, old man.
Dr. Truth,
And
talk about
that's
how you...
exactly what happened. Like he was gone the entire break. I think he peed. I think he got his coffee or whatever you got.
Was
in
he
your hand.
completely sat down when we came back?
And then
Was
he
that
s-
what it was?
And then he sat down like kind of right on time. It was like 5, 4, 3. Not that Steven counts down
I
like
think
that,
he
but
saw an improved posture and deciphered the posture direction. That's my...
Robert Lee says it was written all over Mark's face. Then he had to go, I guess.
All right, awkward transition, but I do want to shout out my guy Matt Loam. Bonobo Books, Hogue. Great children books. It'd be perfect for
So
you.
I can read the book of Garvin.
Well, I don't think he's written the book of Garvin, but he is writing some amazing children novels. Bonobo Books, Matt Loam, my guy.
Okay.
We were two of the last cuts on the Edgewood Junior High basketball team, so we played after school sports, and they would keep the scoring. So there was like the scoring leaders were on the thing. Donald Klipowitz, the great Clip, would keep it, and it was me and Loam battling it out. Clip.
Kirschenbaum.
Klipowitz. Clip. Guys, we're gonna do burpees. Clip was the guy that said everything twice. I loved Clip, the greatest guy ever. He put the 3-point line out there for the 8th grade All-Star team, like just inside where the college line was at the time. 19-9. He made it like 17-8. Clip banged one from the left wing, nothing but net. Edgewood All-Star game. Thank you very much. But Loam, Bonobo Books, he probably doesn't remember this, but he beat me out for the scoring title, and it still bothers me. I should have won, and that'll do it for me today.
Give a shout out to our guy, Matthew Gregory.
Oh, Matt
Loyal-
Gregory.
No, Matt Gregory.
I want to know what's going on inside the Hogue head right now, but go ahead. Yeah, Matt Gregory.
I have to write
Yeah,
a
got his,
column and get to the show.
Getting married here next
Oh.
spring. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So he sent the wedding invite my way here a couple days ago, so I appreciate it.
You got invited, I didn't?
Yeah, I got invited. You didn't.
That's-
I'm sure he'd
He
invite you
slept
though.
at his house.
Yeah, but Gregory and I are like Instagram like besties. We talk all the time.
I'm sure he'll send you one if you want to come.
I'm out. I'm not
Are
traveling.
you going?
Yeah, it's in Missouri.
Does he live in Missouri now?
Yeah, he does.
When did that happen?
I thought
Last year.
it was North Dakota.
Well, he's doing work. I don't want to speak for what he's doing, but he's doing work.
But he's with
and
North Dakota State
yeah,
Bison.
yeah.
How does he
Doing
work
the
for North
best.
Dakota State in Missouri? Sounds
Congrats,
fishy.
Matthew.
Ticket stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good
Ticket,
gig.
let me know.
Why can't I get a ticket gig on the side?
You should have a ticket gig. You're way better at that than this.
I got extras for Cats and Illinois State exhibition
Sure you
Wednesday
got
night. Hit me up in the Discord.
plenty of-
Illinois State, you want in?
What day?
Wednesday night, 7:00. You want one?
I want to take Illinois State. I think
Come on out.
You should take
I
those.
might actually want that.
Can
I
you
got,
also?
I got pregame activities for you too. We can have a great final time. Got a good burger spot.
I might actually take you up on that.
There you go. See, you're good at
Let's
this.
go,
Can you
Steven.
sell my Blackhawks tickets tonight, dude? While you're at it,
Why don't
Hit
you
me up
take-
in the Discord if you want Hogues Hawks tickets.
There you
Make me an
go.
offer. I'll get it done.
look at this guy. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, hey, thanks for everybody watching, listening.
We got super chats.
Super chats.
Don't forget Garden Hoser.
Garden Hoser, $2. That loss hurt, but we move on to the next one, boys. That's right. Bear down.
His name's Gardenier.
Garden Hoser.
It's a Jonathan Garvin, Garden Hoser positive attitude. That's what I like.
Tony Paz, $5. Refs are killing us. Please give robots the job. Use cameras on every player. Set thresholds for penalties. Get rid of the bull and Ben we trust. Bear down.
Did you see the stat that Scott Bear from Marquee Network shared yesterday?
I did. Say it again.
The Bear Report?
It's one of the greatest names
it's not
ever.
That there's Bear Report.
Well, that is
different
confusing
people.
because Bear
Right.
Reports. We need a Scott Bear. But you can't be named Bear and cover the Bears and not have a cool. We need to get that.
But we already have a Bear Report.
Bear down.
That'd be too confusing.
How about
But Scott Bear shared this stat. Per NFLpenalties.com, the Bears have been flagged 64 times for 533 yards, second highest per game penalty count in the league. Conversely, Bears opponents have been flagged only 36 times for 254 yards, second lowest per game count in the league.
Yeah, I didn't really buy into the Bear premises here that the Bears are getting screwed by the officials. That was the premise, right?
Well, it's a pretty wide margin.
Well, one team's committing penalties and the other team across the field isn't. You think the officials are against the Bears?
Well, I just think that it justifies some of the outcries from Bears fans of how the officiating has gone for a handful of these games. Not all. The Bears certainly hold their responsibility for a percentage of the penalties going against them, but the fact that the other team just happens to be playing clean games every week, it's the second lowest.
But it's different crews each week. It's not like one crew.
I did actually, though, want to thank John Harbaugh for stupidly challenging that one play because it made the referee go look at how they missed the helmet-to-helmet right there. Like Sean Smith had to look at that monitor and be like, oh, we missed that call.
Right.
And then he had to take that back.
You had
with
to
him. So I thought that was a great job by
You
John
had the
Harbaugh.
push off at the end by DeAndre Hopkins that also not only was a push off, but also had the face mask. And Hopkins and Lamar Jackson were laughing it up on the sideline how that didn't
It does
get
feel
called.
like the Bears have been called for some nitpicky penalties while the opponents have gotten away with stuff. I will say that.
I mean,
It
remember
does-
in the Washington game, that was a natural pick route, and then in the Saints game, the Bears got called for the pick route, which wasn't a pick.
Yeah, there's
so
some truth to it. And then there's also a lot of truth to get lined up properly and stop jumping off sides. And especially on defense and special teams too. Hey, DB Gaming had a $2 super.
I'm sending the picture to you right now, Steven.
it's our guy. Yeah,
It's our guy Dion.
It's Dion. It's my delivery guy.
No,
Mail guy.
He delivered his house. Meet Matt last night at the Bulls game. LOL. Love you guys.
And by Matt, he means Mark and Carm. That's okay, Dion. Don't worry about it. I got to work on my name branding, but we met in the bathroom.
I would. Matt Carman might be a good addition to the show.
Yeah.
Is this another picture from the bathroom?
Yeah, this is from the bathroom.
Oh no.
No.
He's not pooping.
No,
We are
I was
not
walking out of the bathroom. He started looking at me, kept looking at me, and I just said, "Yes, it is," because I knew he was doing it. and then he was like, "I'm Braggs' FedEx driver."
Yeah, that's right.
And so you just call me the delivery driver.
Well, I didn't want to give away, if he doesn't want who he works for out there, you know what I mean? Like, all right. But he is a good dude.
Here
when
we
he comes
are.
by, I'll be in the garage working on,
Yeah.
Whatever show we're doing and smoking a cigar. And there he is.
And
That's
there we
my
are
guy.
in the bathroom at the United Center. It was awesome.
Dude, shout out to FedEx. I'm in a.
Another bathroom pick. That's 2 in a month.
You took that in the bathroom? You took a picture of the dude in the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't wait until you got it back out in the concourse?
We were in the front area by the sinks. It was,
it was just, at least you weren't like, that's great. At least you weren't like sitting in the stall together.
no, we weren't sitting in the stall together.
Well, shout out to FedEx because I'm currently in a dispute with UPS who's trying to convince me that I live where I don't live.
Shout out to Dion. It was a great guy last night. And we had a great Bulls conversation, Bears conversation. That dude lives in reality. I like him.
Okay. Come out tonight if you're in the city. It'll be a great time. Chicago Brew House, football weather, and get the Hogan Johns collection. Get some hoodies. I want that T-shirt, the white, it's not white. What would you call that? Cream?
Oh, don't say cream. We'll have the guy on Twitter who everyone thinks is me.
Well, we made that shirt for him. How about that? We've come a long way since I had him blocked. All right. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow.
I thought it was a great show today. I really enjoyed myself.
I thought it was a great show too. Thought we got to the bottom of the quarterback stuff. I think we solved.
It's a good venting.
We solved the world's
episode.
problems.
Matt Waldman could, I think, literally.
He's still talking about what happened.
He is a Caleb.
He's an encyclopedia of information. If you go to the rookie scouting portfolio, especially leading up to the draft, he also does fantasy football work as well. He is as detailed as they come, obviously, from the interview, but he gets a lot of respect from people within the league that seek him out for, a lot of information and data that he brings to us to help us become smarter football fans. So appreciate him joining us as always.
He made Greg feel better on Twitter yesterday.
He absolutely did. He does great film breakdowns. Within his writing, he has a piece out today about Caleb Williams and some of the narratives being thrown around, and there's film within it in his article. So make sure you check him out. He's great. He is great.
I could have talked to Matt for 7 more hours, and I think he probably could have talked for 7 more hours.
Oh, 1,000%.
His piece on Dak Prescott and Jared Goff is a good read. I read it before the show. We didn't get to that because we were talking a lot.
Feels like Carman could talk for 7 more hours.
Hoge's going to have a show tonight. You guys should go with Johns on the Riverwalk. That place is awesome. I wish I could go, but I can't. But I will be there in spirit.
All right. That's it.
We all silly like the mayor.